BlackRock just found a way to control Bitcoin, and no one is stopping them. At first, a Bitcoin ETF seemed like a massive win. Finally, mainstream adoption. But behind the scenes, Wall Street is setting a trap. They're not just investing in Bitcoin, they're changing the game to control it. If this continues, self-custody could become a thing of the past, and Bitcoin, the ultimate tool for financial freedom, could end up under the same institutions it was designed to escape. And here's the shocking part. Even some of Bitcoin's biggest names might be helping them do it. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will change how you see Bitcoin forever. The biggest financial institutions aren't adopting Bitcoin. They're hijacking it. For years, Bitcoiners fought against Wall Street's control. But now Larry Fink and BlackRock have found a way to turn Bitcoin into just another asset under their control. At first, it seemed like a victory. Mainstream adoption, billions flowing in. But something felt off. Why was BlackRock so eager to get involved? Jack Kruse lays it out clearly. ETFs aren't here to help Bitcoin. They're a Trojan Horse. Once Bitcoin is locked into Wall Street's system, it loses its power as sovereign money.
I think the thing that worries me about Saylor, the last year, he's done a lot of good things for us. But the one bad thing is he keeps harping on this store of value and not, using it as currency. I'm just going to tell you that is a very slick way to get people to realize the most important part of Bitcoin is a loyal title. It means self-custody. Self-custody is a loyal title. And if you allow somebody to take a loyal title away from you, you are a fucking idiot.
If they control the ETF supply, they dictate Bitcoin's price, accessibility, and even who gets to hold it. The very institutions Bitcoin was meant to replace are now positioning themselves as its gatekeepers. Michael Saylor has been Bitcoin's loudest advocate, but what if he's leading us into a trap? For years, Saylor has told Bitcoiners to buy and hold, but recently his message has started to shift. Instead of pushing for Bitcoin as a currency, he's calling it digital real estate. Some say it's just branding, but what if it's part of something bigger? Kruse doesn't hold back. He believes Saylor's narrative change is not an accident. It's part of a larger shift to align Bitcoin with Wall Street's interests.
I'm going to say something here, first time probably publicly on a podcast. This is the reason I no longer trust Michael Saylor. It's also the reason I no longer trust Cynthia Loomis. Cynthia Loomis, most of the things that she's saying, she tells us the things we want to hear, but she's keeping guys like A16Z and Mark Andreessen in the game, and the jackasses from Ripple, so that they can keep getting their PAC money. That's really what the goal is. That's what the whole stockpile reserve bullshit's about. This is the reason why Trump is, showing the world that he's a shitcoiner, because he is. He knows that he has to replace all this USAID money with something else.
If Bitcoin is seen as just another asset, it's easier to regulate, easier to tax, and easier to confiscate. The ETF is step one. Saylor's messaging shift might be step two. If you're not holding your Bitcoin, you don't own it, period. Wall Street wants your Bitcoin in their hands, and they're using the ETF narrative to make self-custody seem unnecessary. After all, why go through the hassle of managing your own keys when a trusted institution can do it for you? That's the trick. Sup, freaks? This rip of TFTC was brought to you by our good friends at BitKey. BitKey makes Bitcoin easy to use and hard to lose. It's the easiest 0 to 1 step, your first step to self-custody. If you have friends and family on the exchanges who haven't moved it off, tell them to pick up a BitKey. Go to bitkey.world, use the key TFTC20 at checkout for 20% off your order. That's bitkey.world, code TFTC20. Kruse calls it like it is. Bitcoin's strength is in self-custody, and handing it over to institutions is a massive mistake.
I think we're being conditioned right now by this big corporation that owns 500,000 Bitcoin to be okay with letting Scott Bessent and Coinbase, Kraken, even, the one person I trust right now is Caitlin Long, because she's the one, in 2018, 2019 started warning people, hey, this whole thing about banks custodying Bitcoin is probably not a good idea. And then she's the only person I know that's pointed out why Larry Fink and Lutnick came together about the ETFs, why the ETFs are another way for which them to try to control the Bitcoin market, in nefarious ways. And I think when you see this whole story laid out and where it started, the biologic side is so incredibly important in this story, Marty. And that's the reason why I'm very, very happy, that you have highlighted Kevin. Kevin is involved in this. He understands, the 5D warfare that's really going on here. I want everybody to know, stay and be a decentralized savage, but you need to be way more vigilant than you think.
If you trust institutions to hold your Bitcoin, you're playing right into their hands. This is exactly how gold was centralized. And Bitcoin could be next if people don't wake up. Bitcoin isn't just under attack from Wall Street. Your very mind could be the next target. But what happens when DARPA's mind control technologies meet the next financial crisis? The implications are terrifying. Do you think electromagnetic mind manipulation is the biggest threat to Bitcoin, hodlers, or is institutional custody the more immediate danger? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Click the video on your screen now. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into what really matters in the Bitcoin space. Thanks for watching. Stay sovereign, stack sats.